Decoding female desire. Have you ever stopped to wonder what women really desire in a man? If you think it's all about having a perfect body or some unrealistic standard you've seen in movies, let me invite you to think again. You see, female desire runs much deeper than the shallow assumptions and myths we've been fed by pop culture. In fact, research shows that about 90% of women have clear preferences when it comes to a man's body. But here's the twist. Those preferences aren't what most men assume. It's not just about looks, and it's certainly not about size. What women actually find attractive is far more about how you make them feel emotionally, mentally, and spiritually than how you simply look on the outside. I've talked to countless women, friends, clients, even strangers in interviews, and they all echo the same thing. I want to feel safe. I want to feel seen. I want to feel connected. So, if you've been measuring your worth by inches or comparing yourself to airbrushed fantasies, pause, because the real key to female desire lies not in your body alone, but in your presence, your confidence, and your ability to truly connect. The truth about balance over size here is something most men never hear. Women aren't looking for extremes, despite what movies, locker room talk, or even your own insecurities might suggest. Women don't chase the biggest or the most exaggerated features. Research after research, including a fascinating survey from the University of California, points to the same conclusion. Women prefer balance. They're drawn to a body that feels healthy, clean, and proportional. A body that sends subtle but powerful signals of strength, care, and emotional safety. In that survey, most women reported preferring a penis around 6 to 6.5 inches long, roughly average and slightly thicker than average. But here's the kicker. Even that preference isn't fixed. It changes depending on context, whether they're imagining a casual encounter or considering someone for a long-term relationship. So, instead of obsessing over size or chasing some impossible standard, ask yourself, does your body reflect the care you give yourself? Do you appear balanced, physically, emotionally, and even in how you carry yourself? Because in the end, it's not about being the biggest guy in the room. It's about being the one who feels healthy, centered, and trustworthy, and that is what women actually notice. Evolution and experience shape desire. Have you ever wondered why women seem to notice certain details that most men overlook? There's a reason for that, and it's written deep in our biology. From an evolutionary perspective, women have always been attuned to signs of vitality, cleanliness, and the ability to provide a symmetrical face, a well-groomed appearance, even subtle cues like posture and scent. These all whisper, I'm healthy, I'm dependable, I'm safe. These signals speak directly to her primal brain, telling her you're a good choice, even if she's not consciously thinking about it. But biology isn't the whole story. Society also shapes what women desire. For decades, movies, magazines, and adult entertainment have painted unrealistic pictures of what intimacy should look like. Many women secretly feel ashamed if their preferences don't match what they've seen on screen. That's why understanding this duality, instinct and influence, matters. Women crave more than just a good-looking body. They respond to the quiet confidence of a man who takes care of himself, who respects her, and who isn't performing for an audience but connecting with her. So ask yourself, are you presenting a man who's alive, attentive, and real? That's what truly stands out. Psychology, connection, and safety. Let me share a truth that most men underestimate, and it changes everything for women. The emotional connection matters just as much, if not more, than the physical. You might think she's paying attention to how strong you look or what you're packing below the belt. But when I've asked women in conversations, surveys, even coaching sessions what really turns them on, the answers are remarkably consistent. Trust, respect, feeling seen. When a woman senses that you're present, that you listen without a judgment, that you care about her comfort, something powerful happens. Her body relaxes, her mind opens, and her desire grows. That's not just romantic talk, it's biology. Being heard and feeling safe triggers her nervous system to respond with pleasure rather than fear or tension. So many men treat intimacy like a performance, but the men women remember and choose are the ones who make it feel like a dance, mutual, playful, honest. So ask yourself, are you creating a space where she feels safe to express herself? Because that kind of emotional safety isn't just attractive, it's unforgettable. How desire evolves over time here. Something that even the most experienced men often forget. A woman's desire isn't fixed, it evolves. What she finds attractive at 25 may feel completely different at 45. Her body changes, her hormones shift, her life experiences reshape what she needs and wants from a partner. Sometimes she craves excitement and adventure. Other times, she longs for stability and deep emotional intimacy. And here's the good news. You don't have to guess what season she's in. You just have to stay curious. The men who keep asking questions, who remain attentive and adaptable, who treat her not as a solved puzzle but as a living, growing person. Those are the men who keep the spark alive. Think about it. Have you ever seen a couple together for decades who still seem deeply in love? That didn't happen by accident. It happened because the man never stopped learning her, and she felt cherished for exactly who she was becoming. So the question is, are you willing to grow with her? Because desire isn't about staying the same, it's about staying present. As she changes why your full psychological profile attracts more than looks alone. Let me tell you something powerful. What truly captivates a woman isn't just how you look, it's who you are as a whole. We often hear that physical attraction is like a spark, and it is. But the flame that keeps burning comes from your character, your presence, and the way you make her feel. Women notice your ambition, your kindness, your ability to set healthy boundaries, and how you carry yourself when no one's watching. A man with clear values, who respects himself and others, radiates a quiet confidence that no amount of gym hours or fancy clothes can replace. I've heard women say things like, "I fell for his energy before I even noticed his face." And yet, so many men waste years chasing superficial perfection, trying to look like someone they're not, instead of investing in the parts of themselves that truly matter. So here's the question. Are you showing up as a man with depth, dignity, and emotional intelligence? Because that is what women remember. And that is what makes you irresistible far beyond first impressions. The power of self-care and positive energy. Here's a question for you. What kind of energy do you bring into a room? Because women feel it often before you even say a word. It's not just about being clean or fit, though those matter. It's about the vibe you give off. A man who takes care of his health, who eats well, moves his body, sleeps enough, and manages his stress, radiates something deeper. He gives off calm, strength, warmth. You don't have to be ripped or perfect. But when you invest in yourself, not just for looks, but because you value your well-being, it shows. Women pick up on that. I've heard women say things like, "I could feel his confidence when he walked in." Not arrogance, just a quiet sense of ease. That kind of energy tells her you're not just alive, you're thriving. So take care of your body, your mind, your spirit, not to impress her, but because you respect yourself. That kind of positive energy doesn't just attract women, it inspires everyone around you. The irresistible power of curiosity and growth. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly learned something new about the woman in your life, or even about yourself? One of the most magnetic traits a man can have is a spirit of curiosity, not just about the world, but about her. Women are drawn to men who stay engaged, who ask real questions, who notice the small changes and want to understand what she's feeling and why. Too many men fall into the trap of thinking they already know their partner, but the truth is she's always evolving, and so should you. When you approach her with fresh eyes and an open mind, you keep the spark alive. I've heard women say, "He makes me feel like I'm worth discovering again and again." And that's rare. So keep growing, read, explore, ask her what she needs today, not what she needed 5 years ago. When you show her that you're not just present, but curious about who she's becoming, you become unforgettable, because growth together is one of the most attractive journeys you'll ever take. What women truly want, and what you can become. So after all of this, you might be wondering, what's the secret? What do women really want? Here's the truth. It's not a mystery. It's just been buried under all the noise of myths, pressure, and comparison. They want connection. They want presence. They want to feel safe enough to open up, not just physically but emotionally. They want to feel like they matter, and the good news, you already have what it takes. Not in your measurements, not in your bank account, but in your mind, your heart, and your willingness to show up fully, flaws and all. If you take nothing else from this, remember, it's not the inches that keep her interested, it's the intimacy. It's not the width of your shoulders, it's the wisdom in how you treat her. So stop measuring yourself by someone else's standard. Start becoming the kind of man who listens, who grows, who brings calm, confidence, and care into her world. Because that, more than anything, is what will blow her mind and yours.